Envoy, I hope you found what you were looking for, because those ruins are about to be a distant memory. How clever of you. This is a spring from which the Dream Scourge flows, injecting poison into the veins of the island.
No, a cleansing fire. Poison or cure?
The same poison we burned out of Fior Messiverno. Stand by my side, and we can strike a blow at the Dream Scourge. And at Sabadal. We cut off an infected limb. Nothing more. I've been watching you, Envoy. You, who survived when so many godlike fell. I even asked the gods what made you so remarkable. And the burned queen opened my eyes to what you are. We knew the chaos of the living lands had an origin. How could I have known that you were its offspring? Yes, but even a humble acorn can sprout a tree. There are 2 plagues in the living lands. Help me destroy one, and the other will follow.
Ashes. Nothing of the Akita will remain.
We may not burn out the Dream Scourge here, but we can burn out its symptoms and take the fight to your patron.
Spirits cry out, bury the fire, but still they rage.
Is her first instinct always to destroy stuff and hope that fixes things?
Always thinking with your sword. You zealots never change. I happen to like these ruins. They've been very informative. Without them, I'd never have learned there was a new god in the living lands.
Another reason why they should be destroyed. Sabadal is dangerous, but an archmage is more unpredictable by far.
I do love it when people choose to listen to reason. I have an alternate solution to the problem at hand.
This should be amusing.
I am not talking to you, am I? Don't interrupt me.
Yes, honestly, it's quite simple. I can sever the connection between the Adra in the ruins and the rest of the living lands. It will isolate the dream-scourged essence and halt the creation of new dream thralls in Shatterscarp. But those that exist will remain. My solution will end the plague in this region, I believe, and keep Ludwig from having to do terrible things to those nice ruins. I knew I liked you for a reason. Yes, there is a catch. It's also what you may call a large one. Severing the Adra will require the use of a truly immense amount of essence, which, well, will result in a few deaths.
A few deaths? What about Quilici? And the other Fiorians? And Quilici?
Gentle sleep. One moment, day. The next, a poppy's dream to carry them to the Garden of Night. They would feel no pain.
A few dozen people may die. Possibly 100 or so in the more dire scenarios. There is no control over who will perish in the process. But it will stop the Dream Scourge from spreading in Shatterscarp. No new Dream Thralls will be created.
Reingrim is one of the smartest people alive. If she says this is the way, it's hard to argue. No matter how much we might want to.
It's not an ideal solution. But it is easier to save a life when you've amputated the necrotic limb, so to speak.
You surprise me, Envoy. After showing mercy to your own killer, you would condemn innocence to pain and death. She would sacrifice the very people we're trying to save, and for what? Not even to destroy the Dream Scourge, merely to slow it down.
Destroying the ruins and killing the Dream Thralls within is also a short-term measure. Ludwig's solution will eventually result in the same number of casualties, possibly even more.
If such an alternative existed, I'd have suggested it already.
So long as the Dream Scourge exists, more people will become infected. And the infected will take more lives, and this will continue indefinitely.
She has no idea what the consequences of her actions might be. And neither do you. Envoy, I want to show you something. I swore an oath to my goddess. A solemn vow that I would give everything in service to her. Even myself. And I did so, gladly. Sapadal wants the same devotion from you. The only difference is, you never had a choice. And what makes you so sure the decision is truly yours? Sapadal has been whispering in your ear, guiding you, influencing you. You owe Sapadal nothing, and yet they demand everything. That is not devotion. It's cruel.
I suppose she knows a few things about cruelty.
Yes, quite difficult to decide whether to believe your new god or the angry skeleton actively threatening us.
Godlike. I leave the choice to you. Both options will bring harm. The question is, which will bring more good? Perhaps not. But one of these solutions will bring an end to the matter in Shatterscarp. Remember the village and the statue it couldn't repair. Remember the lesson I tried to teach you. None of our lives matters. Not when they might cost us the future. Now choose, Envoy. Destroy the ruins and the Dream Thralls, but allow the plague to keep spreading. Or sever the Adra and end the plague in Shatterscarp, with an unknowable number of casualties.
She toys with you with innocent lives, while I offer only the truth.
You're deciding the fate of dozens, and you're asking me. I am honored, Envoy, but I am not the right one to ask.
Good people die either way. But severing the Adra shortens their suffering, I hope.
Call it an experiment. To see if a mortal can think of futures beyond one's lifetime. And be less sentimental than the village about its statue. Also, I rather loathe the Inquisitor. She's far too used to getting her own way.
Petty, illogical, and self-absorbed. You hold a blade to the throat of my soldiers, but that's no excuse for wasting my time. Envoy, I hate to be in this position, but at least the choice is in Adiran hands. So choose.
Oh, what a relief. You really scared me there, Envoy.
Not sure exactly what that means, but it doesn't sound good.
So be it. Sapadal's hold over you is stronger than I suspected.
Rune, strengthen the living leaves. We twine.
Attune your soul to Sapadal to assist my focus on the Adra. You're the only one who can do that part. And Yatsley, come, help me. I think you'll enjoy this. Marins of Clavan, Aid Marslante. I am delighted to have been right about you. I was hoping you'd have the cold logic I wanted to see. We've dealt with the Dream Scourge, but you'll still have some cleaning up to do. Now that I know this was all because of a new god flailing in their cage, the Living Lands is no longer of interest to me. Another god. There are so many. If a new one is more aberrant than another, does it really matter? But that is for you to wrestle with. I'm done here. However, I have one final question for your young wizard.
For... me?
You have shown a great deal of talent, Yatsley. Few can harness so much essence with ease. I could use your assistance. And the companionship. It's really dreary being alone. Should you wish to return with me, I would happily take you on as my apprentice. The rest of the circle do not often visit, which is good because they're tiresome. You, however, are a power worth shaping, and rather delightful to boot.
Well, obviously, I'm... Wait. Really? You want me to... Wow. That would be... amazing. But... I have to think about it. At the very least, the envoy would be lost without me. And so would my lover. Though the idea of finally devoting more time to magic is tempting.
Yes, my work will still be there even when this world is in ruins. Which, hopefully, won't happen. Whatever you decide, it will be some months before I depart. You know where to find me. Be clever, godlike. Don't think too much with your heart.
Why are we deferring to that maniac Ringgrim? Ugh.
What is done is done. Do not waste your breath justifying it to me. Countless innocent lives cut short. Even my own soldiers. And for what? Make no mistake. There will be a reckoning for the chaos you unleashed here. At least now I have a better idea of who is pulling your strings. And that is what she wants you to believe. Envoy, need I remind you why the Emperor sent you? To burn out a threat at any cost. To impose order where chaos reigns. If you and Heelguard are too spineless to remember your allegiance, I'll have to finish the job myself. All I wanted to do was protect Shatterscarp. Give it the chance that Fior Messiverno did not have. Instead, I'm left with one dead settlement, and another dying one. Fior Messiverno was already beyond hope. All I did was light its funeral pyre. A word of warning, Envoy. You and I are running out of opportunities to save the living lands from itself. I allowed you to dictate the terms of this meeting. I won't make that mistake twice. Your impudence has been noted. One more thing, Envoy. I know what happened to Captain Alfear. You fought valiantly, and she fell in disgrace. But now you have a debt to the Steel Garrote. And one day, I will collect it.
Quick note, it's not a great survival plan to anger people like her, if you can help it.
It wasn't supposed to claim our people!
I can't believe the Inquisitor...
No, bro.
We need to talk. You let a mad archmage unleash death with a spell. I need to know why. So because you don't trust her, you'll throw your lot in with something clearly worse?
You saw what she did to my home. Do you think she'll be merciful to yours?
Ludwig's a monster. But how can you say Ringgrim's any less of one?
Ringgrim knows more about the Dream Scourge than we do, and we know more than most others do. She found a great solution, but it came with a great cost. What more could we expect?
Do you hear yourself? You both saw what kind of person she is. The twisted little world she built for herself. If ending the Dream Scourge means handing our fate to someone like her, then perhaps it's not worth the cost.
Kai, let's be honest. None of us are walking away from this with a clean conscience. But unless someone makes the tough decisions, the Dream Scourge will kill us all. Or worse. That means living with our nightmares. Embracing them if we must.
Right. Getting killed by monsters is one thing, but turning into one...
We stand here bickering while the solution is just over the horizon. Nothing matters but the garden. Shatterscarp, even Emerald Stair. They're distractions by comparison. Can we talk a moment? I wanted to pick your brain about Shatterscarp. How much do you really know about Adra? Very good. We severed the Adra and Naku Kubel to slow down the Dream Scourge. But at what cost? That would be putting it lightly. The souls of the dead who go looking for a passage to the beyond will have nowhere to go. They'll be lost in darkness. Some will find their way to an Adra pillar, far from Shatterscarp. But others could wander this land for centuries. A watcher, maybe. It's a shame we haven't got one. Try as we might to help others, we won't always succeed. Even the dead can suffer the consequences of our actions. I just wish the world and its problems would leave us alone. Even for a moment. Give us time to focus on our mission. Ourselves. I suppose you're right. Maybe that's the point of our little campfire chats. While I have your ear, can I ask you one more question? Much appreciated. Something about Inquisitor Ludwig has been getting to me. She seemed eager to distinguish your Adiran loyalty from your nature as a godlike, as though the two are incompatible. She believes you can be loyal to your country or to your nature, but not both. Do you find that unusual? Indeed, it does. It's just... When you rejected Ludwig's offer, she wasn't surprised. As though she saw it coming. Ludwig clearly respects you, but I don't believe she trusts you. Anyway, that just had me thinking. Could be nothing, or could be something. Time will tell. Get some rest. You deserve a nap. For that matter, so do I. Pleasant dreams.
Envoy, we need to discuss what you did in the ruins. I just hope we made the right decision. Those ruins are priceless, and I truly look forward to exploring them again in the future, but I don't know that I'll ever truly accept what we did. What I did. Usually I know the right answer. It's obvious. Here, though... I know. We've seen enough pain caused by the Dream Scourge. Things have been... unreal. We spoke to actual ancient Akedans in the ruins. I was able to ask questions and get answers. Perhaps you'll pick a better specialty next time. Most historians have only hoped to speak with past lives through animancy. I'll blow them all away with my next paper. But to go through the trials ourselves? Oh, could we be any luckier? Fascinating. I can't imagine what it was like to grow up a godlike with no god. I'm glad you got answers, sweetheart. Well, I have to start writing this all down before I forget. But do return if you think of any other juicy details. Tired already, Envoy? Well, I'll...
So, we found a map to the garden. Now we see how accurate those ancient godless cartographers could possibly be. Not sure how helpful that map will be, really. There's probably a reason no one's been to the garden in centuries. That'll be cold comfort when everyone thinks I'm crazy for saying I've been there. I figure either it's a complete dud and there's nothing really there, or we all lose our minds the second we show up. Either way, was it worth it? Who knows? I wish I was as convinced as you are. The thought of going to speak to a god on their turf? It doesn't make sense to me. I guess that's not my problem, really. My job is to keep you alive, whether you've got a god in your head or not. Just don't do anything stupid, all right? Anyway. You too.
Could they? Beloved that you are, and still they bared their fangs. We blessed the Jabaru Sinakis, and they prick us in return. Blood on the wire. Roots like a wall. We only meant to protect. We thrashed against the blinding light to keep the Akita safe. We never wanted this. So many seedlings lost. We grieved, but we saved many. We tended, comforted the living, and buried the dead. Yet still the branches swipe. We mourn, we could not be to blame. They should have shared our love. Their spite, this we could not foresee. But you are here, a green shoot after the fire. You would not raise your hand against us. Words like bile. This is not our way. Sleep now. Dream of golden poppies on the road ahead.
Listen, that back there, in the ruins, that was a lot. I know you passed 3 trials, but I'm not sure what that means exactly. I don't know. Maybe you're the chosen one now. Some kind of prophecy? You don't look that different to me. It's not that I didn't enjoy tromping around in the ancient death trap, getting bossed around by spirits and all that. But I really do hope this was the last time. That kind of humidity does terrible things to my beard. Anyway. Not before I've done some reading.
Who needs fabric? Oh, you're back. What can I do for you? We still have various linens and silks in stock.
3 dozen dead, of no apparent causes. They just fell over. Like their hearts were stopped in their chest. What did you do, Envoy? I know you're involved somehow. Sacrifices? Is that what you want to call it? Such a pretty word for so much death. Dozens are dead, Envoy. Their loved ones scream for them. What was all this for? The costs were too great, Envoy. And you paid them with third-born blood. I hope your fucking decisions haunt you forever. You've cost so many families their loved ones. You have my permission to go anywhere else. Get out of my sight, Envoy.
I've been trying to sort my thoughts since we left her domain. We met Ringrim. The Ringrim. Master illusionist of the Circle of Archmagi. And we impressed her? She even offered to make me her apprentice. You can always improve. Especially when your teacher is an expert. It doesn't feel real, but it is. Oh, Handra's titties. What am I going to do? If I take the apprenticeship, I'll have to leave Quilici and Fjord. And what about my study of the Godless? I've spent my whole life with them. Oh, you even learned their proper name. I can't believe you listened. You'll make me cry at this rate. I'm not a kid anymore. I can't do everything all at once. There are only 26 hours in a day. I love my life as it is now. Exploring as I wish and coming home to open arms and a warm bed. I don't want to give that up. This is something I never even dreamed of. But it's big. It won't leave room for much else. And I'm too old to... Oh, Envoy. What would you do? Oh, darling. Don't you know that I'll do what I want, no matter what anyone thinks? I just wish to ask a friend his opinion. Now, come on. Answer the question. What would you do? I know. That's the whole issue. I've learned magic through my own means, reading and studying on my own. How much more could I learn with her? And how much faster? Within a fortnight, I could rule the world.
As if you need an archmage for that. You could rule the world with a smile.
Thank you, dearie. I can't promise I'll act on it, but I really appreciate the advice. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to write a letter to Quilici. He'll never believe me.
Never thought I'd be going back to Galawain's tusks.
Relax. We won't embarrass you too much.
It's you! You're the monster who got us kicked out of third board.
Did we do that? Right, sounds like us.
What do you have against honest businessmen? You can't fast-talk me, you fiend! I demand compensation!
I know you're upset, Tycho, but they seem like they're really strong.
Shizu, please don't undermine me in front of them. You have to make things right by me. By us, I mean. Oh, I wasn't expecting a sincere apology. That kind of takes the wind out of my sails.
Thank you. I'm glad today didn't end in bloodshed.
Maybe the next time we all meet, we can just have a lovely drink, or I can dissect you. Either one.
Don't promise me a good time, dearie.
Well, go on, get out of here, before I change my mind. And if we ever do meet again, well, you can forget about that discount.
What? Temerity sent word. She said you can go. I'm sorry, Envoy. I don't have much more to say. You were responsible for all this death. But I hope you don't end up the same way, too.
Ludwig may have a skull for a face, but her fury was clear enough. If her path crosses ours again, it'll be ugly.
Frankly, I'll take any opportunity we get to ruin Ludwig's day.
I'll say this much for the Inquisitor. She's stubborn, like a rat. And I plan on hunting her like a rat.
I'd say we shouldn't stay on her bad side, but I'm not sure she has any other sides.
You know her better than any of us. What's your read?
That might be easier said than done.
Well, the joke's on her in any case. Ludwig won't get very far without that map. She'll be scratching her skull.
Somehow, I don't think she'll let that stop her for long.
And Ludwig definitely strikes me as someone who doesn't leave food on her plate.
I believe it. And we'll cross that bridge with you when we get to it.
Ludwig and her steel garrote have the numbers and the power. But we have spunk and a map. And that might just be enough to find the garden before she does.
We're all competing for the same thing. A place we barely understand, with no guarantees of what we'll find there. Still, I am determined to reach the garden, above all else.
Ugh, that's just a pile of Sokka. Generally, debatable, but about the garden, definitely. You won't find a blessed thing. This wild beetle chase of yours is a Page-Raku waste of time. To get to the garden, you have to go through Galawain's tusks. The land is made of lava and acid. It wants to eat you alive.
So it's tough odds. We've gotten this far together.
Tough odds is an extra Zarb jumping in at the last minute. This is a long trek. On foot, through a land that can barely support life. I don't have to be a Blessed Oracle to know this won't go how you think it will. I don't know, Nimdut. I do know whatever I come up with is better than do whatever the voice in my head tells me to do. I'm done here. Do whatever Blessed planning you want to do. You don't need me for that.
Let's just take a breath, Marius. You don't mean that.
Nope. I said what I said. Come get me when it's time to go.
Poor Marius. Some things really rattled him.
I've never seen Marius like this. Something's going on with him, but I don't know what.
Be gentle with him. Or if not gentle, understanding.
Well, hopefully Marius will be okay soon. We have to get going if we want to get to the garden before Ludwig.
We won't get far unless we look after each other. Now's your chance.
I know what you're gonna say. Marius, I'm tired of your blessed day attitude. Get over it. Well, you know what? So am I. So just let me be alone for a bit. It is. And it isn't. I'm not sure what it is, really. Just the thought of going back to Galawain's tusks makes my heart feel like it's going to explode. I sweat. My ears ring. I can't breathe. When it seems like we're really heading there, I feel like I'm dying. I guess a lot of things happened to me there. I grew up there in Solace. I left there on purpose. I understand not wanting to go back, but why can't I just thinking about it makes me feel ill. I need some time alone, Envoy. I need to get some rest. I'll be ready to go when the time comes.
Galawain's gonads. There isn't enough perfume in Aora. You lived here.
Ugh. I always thought that if I ever came back here, I'd never...
Oh, dear. Do you need some smelling salts?
I'm fine. Just need to... I
Look out!
Let's go! Not bad enough we're going into more godless ruins. We're also walking ways towards Come up.